It's the arms race of the future, really, except this time Sputnik's going to be an unmanned plane. And if the vessel is unmanned, doesn't that make the killing automatically inhumane? It's odd to me to think that when I'm voting with my dollar, I demand better treatment of the chicken for my dinner than our military seems to see fit for the people on the ground in places like Iraq and Yemen, Afghanistan, or Pakistan. You know, those unreliable statistics, because really who sees? The trouble with machines is that there's a lack of accountability. I want our government to have to make stickers for all their little planes that say no dolphins or civilians were harmed in the making of this democracy. How about that? How about a harm-free approach to foreign policy? Can you install that, Uncle Sam, at the point of your gun? Of course not. It's an oxymoron. American, the humanitarian, on a mission and it's called an invasion. Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, because this sure ain't Superman. It's a US military drone and it's loaded, so go ahead and run, because it sees you too, but not with eyes, with orders. Because anyway, that's what collateral damage is code for, dead people, lots of them children. Unarmed civilians is a way of saying that they had nothing to do with this conflict, but then neither do we on this end. The taxed yet unrepresented majority of people in this country who do not like the war and do not support another one, but what can we do? We don't feel the trigger under our finger because we're fed a constant stream of lies, and all our lives we're told that it's do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. And yet every time the news breaks that a woman is raped, that a village was slaughtered, we are ready to make those sacrifices for what we call the safety of our country, and it is utter nonsense, okay? Violence begets violence. This is a fundamental truth. We are the purveyors of death and atrocity in these parts of the world, and then you wonder why they hate us? So you tell me, who is the real terrorist, the rebel with the gun or the smiling politician? Whatever gets the job done. And these days, the job is as easily done as the push of a button by some pimple-faced kid in a bunker in Nevada somewhere. Did you know that the controls for these drones are compatible with the PlayStation? This is not a coincidence. They are spoon-feeding this to your kids, so I suggest you get acquainted because drones are the future of warfare that already is. And I heard that Obama just okayed the use of drones over all US airspace within the next year. So be prepared to see them around, equipped with cameras instead of bombs, so that should make us all feel safer. You know, they say they are looking for the terrorists among us and looking at everyone, you know, just in case. Even though the only cases it seems that our government team can solve these days are the ones they cooked up in the first place. But hey, they gotta spend that budget some way, don't they? And did you know that it takes a whopping, jaw-dropping 300 people to fully operate one of these planes for just one day? One of these $28 million pilotless planes? Oh yes, sirree, it's a booming industry. You remember that bumper sticker about how great it'd be if schools had all the funding that they needed and the Army had to hold a bake sale? People, this is what your government is busy buying. This is where your tax dollars go. So when they tell you they've got to cut some spending, you just tell them land some drones, man, just land the drones. And call me a sentimental hippie like that, but I believe in the power of the people to fight back because we can't just let this technology run wild or go rogue or come crashing home on us, men. We must realize and regulate. We gotta study up and educate people before this whole thing gets out of control with evidence to suggest that we are already at the threshold. So why don't you let your president and let your Congress members know what you think about these wars and what you think about these drones. Why don't you tell them, we don't need any more killing machines, all right? We got better ways to spend that money back home. Why don't you leave those kids in Pakistan alone? It's time to end the wars and land the drones. Thank you.